So today we are talking all about growing our teams. Because as you guys already know, the way that you grow your business and earn a really solid income is by growing your team. That's how that works. Now, the word recruiting, I don't really like, because it's not like you're going door to door being like, hey, you would make a really good coach. And they go to the next door. You'd make a really good coach. You should join my team. You should join my team. You're going to be like a millionaire if you join my team. You'll be like super successful. It's like, okay. First off, you don't want everyone to be a coach on your team. And I can speak from experience. When I first started, anybody and everybody that expressed interest in coaching or that I talked to, I thought, yep, they're going to be on my team because they want to be a coach. And sometimes you get burnt by doing that, especially if you're not really showing who you are or who your team is on Facebook. People don't really get what the vibe is all about. And sometimes you'll get a really negative person and they'll be like, yeah, I want to join your team. And you're like, oh God, okay. I don't know how that'll work. That'll be kind of awkward because you don't really mesh with my team. So that's where it comes really, really integral that you guys share what your team culture is. And I know it might sound crazy to say what your team culture is if you don't have a team right now, but you still represent a brand, right? You have a personality, you have interests and likes, and you have a way that you run your business, which will ultimately be how you train your team as well. So just because you don't necessarily have, I just gotta mute some people here. There we go. Okay. Just because you don't necessarily have a full team doesn't mean that you can't give off that vibe and attract your tribe. So when we say you need to post 3 to 5 times a day, there's a reason for that, because not everybody is on Facebook all day long. So they're not going to see all of your posts. They might see 1 or 2 maybe. So that's why it's so important. And everyone's like, oh, they're going to be like annoyed with what I post. The only reason they would be annoyed is if they're actually like following you and they like check in on you and then they're like keep creeping you. Well, if you're doing that, they probably aren't all that annoyed anyways. They're like just being creepy, because the general public doesn't see like all 9 of AMQ's posts a day. They don't, right? They just don't. So that's why posting often and a lot and with good content is important. So one of the things that I want you guys to realize is that your challengers make the best coaches. The reason for that is they already have a general understanding of how a challenge group works, what the environment is like, and what your style of coaching is, and kind of what to expect from the coaching experience. They also understand the programs really well. So someone who's done 2 rounds of 21-day fix, they get it, right? They understand it's 30-minute workouts. You sweat a ton. The meal plan isn't insane. Like, it just teaches you to eat the foods you enjoy in proper portions. So they're very trainable people because they've already done all that hard work to begin with. And not only that, if they've had results and enjoy the program, that makes them a perfect coach, because chances are people around them are like, what are you doing? Like, how do I get on board? And lots of times I'll have someone say to me like, hey, I have a couple of friends that are wanting to do this. Like, can you help them out? I say, yeah, I could, or you could. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, well, like, you're basically doing what I do. Like, why don't you earn the commission instead of me? And they're like, sure, that sounds awesome. So that's how a lot of coaches start out, is just by someone telling them that, hey, like, what you're doing now isn't all that different. You're posting your sweaty selfies. You're inspiring people around you. Why not earn a living from doing it? And sure, I could have said like, yeah, send them my way. But part of me knows that this business is about sharing and about, lending that opportunity to someone else the way someone did for me. So if that means that, they start their own business at home, that's pretty cool. So challengers make the best coaches. And one of the things that I do often, and not with everyone, obviously, like, I'm not going to lie and tell someone you'd make an amazing coach if deep down I'm like, oh, you probably wouldn't be a very good coach. Like, it wouldn't be for you. But if I have a challenger in my group that's posting all the time, super inspiring, posting on their personal page, I will send them a message and thank them for being such a strong leader in our groups. Thank you for being a leader. Thank you for inspiring those around you. That means a lot to me. And it shows that you are so dedicated to this cause. I'm not inviting them off the hop, but I am sending them words of recognition, saying that what you're doing is valued, and I appreciate it, and I notice it. So if you have a challenger that's kicking butt, take time each week to message them and say, I appreciate what you're doing and all the work you're putting in. So keep it up, that sort of thing. And it definitely pays off, because not only do you feel good knowing that someone's really learning a lot from you or taking away a lot from your challenge groups, but that might be a new coach on your team, and you can already see what their style is and what their personality is. And you can see, oh my gosh, this person's a rock star and the kindest person, like a total rock star. I want this person on my team. So that's one of the probably number one sources of having someone on your team, is just organically through a challenge group, and you see like, you're going to be good at this. You tell them that. It doesn't have to be really formal or uncomfortable or sales. You just say, hey, I wanted you to know you're super inspiring. You're a total babe, and I think that you would rock at this. Simple. Okay. So lots of times coaches worry about advertising for people joining their team, because they can be a little bit more cold, right? Because it's like, hey, I'm hiring, or join Team Full Heart, or whatever the case is. But I often try to subliminally invite and grow my team in every post that I make. So I'll make a post of, oh gosh, I just have to think. Like, I do it pretty well every day. I was out getting my nails done and my toes done. I said, it's so flippin' nice to be able to do this on a Wednesday, midday. I worked my butt off to get to this point, but like, this is why I do this, is for time. Sure, like the money is amazing. It's great. And it grows over time, but you can't put a dollar value on my time and being able to go for lunch with my mom or head to the lake in the middle of the week. That's why I work my tail off all the time, so that that's my reality, and that, down the road, I won't have to work at all. So I share that message a lot, because that's what I'm so passionate about. And some people, they will post a lot about, they'll post their shopping cart and say, we never would have been able to afford this amount of fresh produce in a week without my second income. A lot of people, that's a reality for a lot of people. The second income means a whole heck of a lot to their family, not just getting nails and a pedicure done, right? It means bills are getting paid, groceries are being paid. So when you see a coach put up a dollar value and say, month 1, I made this, month 12, I made this, month 24, I made this, don't worry, that'll be you one day. But don't feel like, oh man, I'm only making like $200 right now. Like, I don't want to post that. That's sad. I don't want that. That's okay, because we all started there. But what I did is I would post, like, obviously I wouldn't show people like my billing information on my cell phone bill, but I'd be like, whoa, cell phone bill is paid. That's sweet. Now I can like justify buying like these new shoes I wanted or whatever. Things like that. So putting into perspective how coaching has changed your life. And it doesn't always have to be a dollar value. And that's one of the mistakes people make, is they think that, well, coaching isn't working for me because I just started and I'm not making these big paychecks. Well, how do you feel? How does it feel when someone tells you that you've inspired them? How does it feel inside when you realize you're far more confident right now than you were 6 months ago? So there's so much more to this opportunity than just the dollar value. And that's one thing I feel like we just don't focus on nearly enough. And if you're struggling to post on how coaching has changed your life, just dig a little deeper, and that'll make a big difference. So people need to know that you're a coach, straight up. Like, that's so simple and so basic, because if you're wanting to grow a team, they need to know that you do that. So whether it be in your cover photo, your display picture, in your posts throughout the day, and the description of your job title, people need to look at your Facebook page, search your name, and be like, oh yeah, she does something in health and wellness. They need to know that for sure. So making that a priority, or put it on your to-do list for the next few days, is updating your basically your storefront. That's what I like to call it, because people won't walk into a store that doesn't catch their eye, right? Like, you walk by Aritzia and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go in here and buy like every single thing, because look at this storefront, look at this display. Or like Lulu, their storefronts are always like amazing. Darn well the Lulu in Regina has the same stuff as the Lulu in Vancouver, but you're like, wow, the storefront's gorgeous, I'm going in. So think of that. Just because you're a Beachbody coach, and there's a lot of Beachbody coaches out there, your storefront has to be eye-catching, it has to be different, and it has to draw people in. So that's really important. And people need to know why you coach. Why did you sign up? And it's okay to say, I wanted to provide for my family. I wanted to pay the bills. That's okay. A lot of people are like, oh, I wanted to have this like really deep testimony that I signed up to do it because, you know, I want to save the planet. I don't know. But like, it doesn't have to be like super profound. It can be, for me, I signed up initially because I wanted a discount on my shakes. Like, I really like them. They help me not feel like garbage all the time. So I was like, okay, like if you can justify shopping and getting nails, you can justify saving that money to get these shakes because they make you feel pretty darn fantastic. So I said, I'm going to sign up to Coach so I get a discount on my shakes and then maybe earn enough each month to cover them. That was my goal. And my coach was like, okay, like you can do whatever you want. Like, I'm not going to pressure you. She says, but you have potential. You realize that, right? Like you have potential to like be a really good coach. And I laughed at her because I was at like my heaviest weight. And I said, well, thank you, kind lady, but that doesn't seem to be in line with my trajectory of life. I don't think that'll be for me. And then as I'm watching other ladies start like really kicking butt and really kind of harvesting the fruits of their labor, I'm just like, whoa, okay. Like, I think this is for me. So then I said, okay, I'm going to coach just like friends and family. That's what I'll do. So I'll help out like people here and there. And when people need me, I'll be available. Perfect. That's how to start. Sounds good. So I did that for a while. And then I realized like, hey, like the only reason I started in the first place is because Morgan reached out to me. There was no way that I would have messaged her and been like, hey girl, I want to do this. Like, hook me up. That's not my personality type at all. I'm an introvert. I'm extroverted around the people that I'm comfortable with. But like outside of that, I'm a hermit. So messaging someone to like do something a little out there, not in my realm. So that's where invitations come into play for you guys. And I know it's like the one thing that people cannot get over right off the bat. They're like, oh, it's awkward. Like, I don't know what to say. I promise you that in like, whether it's the Team Full Heart downline page or it's the Just Keep Pushing downline page, if you search and you collaborate and you brainstorm with people, you will find so many ideas and different ways to invite people. I know in our new coach training, Hillary and I post tons of stuff in there for what to say. And it doesn't have to be long. In fact, that's often like an error on our part. We'll word vomit all over people and they'll be like, who's this person sending me like a novel? No, thanks. You need to be just saying, hey, I noticed that you're super into fitness. I'm not sure if you ever considered it being a business at all, but if you're interested in running like an online health and wellness business, let me know. I could kind of give you some details. Simple. Just a conversation starter, because you're not going to sign up a coach on the first message, right? You need to engage in conversation. You need to be human. And actually, if you're in the Emerald training group, one of my days, the topic is be a human. Like, just be a person. Don't be a vacuum salesperson who's reading from a script like, hi, how is your Thursday? Your carpets appear to be dirty. Would you like a vacuum? No, you need to be like a person and say, I know that shit gets hard. Our lives are busy. I've been there. I've struggled with body image disorder myself. I've struggled with confidence issues. I'm your girl. I'm not going to be perfect. I won't always have abs. I might have abs one day, but they're gone 3 days later. But I'm not perfect, but I'm real. So I'm willing to help you out. And then people are like, that's refreshing. That's what I want. I don't want that Instagram model that's like perfect, absolutely perfect. And then you find out what they do to get there and you're like, oh, like I'm not going to be able to eat anymore. I like to eat. Like, I want to eat. Like, I don't want to put my body into starvation mode. Like, I want to keep my hair. I don't want to like compromise my liver. Like, okay, sure, I'll try out what you got going on, because hers seems completely unrealistic. So you need to just invite people and share the message, and don't feel like it needs to be so structured. Yes, I keep copy and pasted things in my phone and my notes so that I can copy and paste it, but they're just like what I said to you. Hey girl, like, that's what we call them, hey girl statements, right? Just really casual, aloof, and then you send them to people, and then from there they can make the decision themselves. And it starts a conversation, or people will be like, what is that? Be like, oh yeah, it's just this online coaching that I do from home. Have you heard of P90X or 21 Day Fix? And some of them actually say no, which is surprising. You're like, really? Oh my God. Okay. But some people say, yeah, I have a friend who did that. And you can say, yeah, I run online accountability groups for ladies wanting to get fit from home. I've myself, accomplished X, Y, and Z doing challenge groups. I feel X, Y, and Z because of them. And I'm just trying to help other ladies do the same without spending an arm and a leg with a trainer at the gym. So just keeping it as casual as you can, because what's frightening is when someone gets a message saying, hey, I have an opportunity for you. You can be a millionaire like me. Like, no, you're not a millionaire. Like, I don't know, like a Saudi Arabian prince messaging you that he's going to marry you. And you're like, wow, okay, but this seems fishy. Try not to be fishy. Try to be human and just say, I don't know if you've seen my post lately, but I am a wellness coach. I kind of love it, a little obsessed. And ask AMQ, emojis are life. Emojis, add emojis. People add emojis. Robots don't add emojis. People do. So emojis are great for expressing how you feel. But people need to know why you signed up. People need to know that you're a coach. And people need to know how coaching has changed your life. So like I said, you might not have that, I made $7,000 this month. That's okay. It happens. It took 2 years for me for that to happen. But when you tell people that you were able to go on a date night with your hubby with extra Beachbody income, that's cool. That's fun. That's real life. Because sure, it's really exciting to say you make a lot of money doing this. And I don't blame people for sharing that because it's exciting when it happens. But what a person in your shoes that's not a coach could relate to is an earned date night, like a free date night. That's cool. Groceries, dinner out, whatever it is, but you need to share how it's changed your life and what it's done for you. And don't get so hung up on the dollar value. So I always advertise really subtly, really subliminally, and then I'll have sometimes more in your face posts as well, which is totally fine. But you need to just always kind of sprinkle it in, just a couple little sprinkles here and there. If you have a post of you and your son on a Saturday afternoon, it's an adorable picture, and then you say a little blurb, and at the bottom it's like, he's my why. He's the reason that I work my butt off and I want to be healthy because I want to be here for a long time. You never say Beachbody. You never say coaching. You say this is the reason why you work your butt off is because of this little guy right here. Okay. So basically that's my top tips for recruiting and inviting people. I don't want you guys to overthink it because that's oftentimes the biggest issue, right? People get nervous. They don't know what to say, and then they just don't do it. But you need to do it every day. And I admit, there's days that I skip, but then I'm like, okay, well, I have to do double what I was going to do, right? I have to get that out there because darn well that if you don't invite someone else will, right? That's going to happen. And it might not be anyone even in the country that you're in, right? It'll be a Beachbody coach from who knows where, but you need to make sure that you're because some people don't understand what we do, and that's okay. It's kind of a different idea. So they don't understand that they can ask to be a part of it. So you need to advertise that. You need to either share that on your page that this is open for anyone who's ever struggled with X, Y, and Z. This is open for people with these kind of goals. And then you invite people. You say you post a photo completely unrelated to Beachbody and it gets like 100 likes. You're like, whoa, snap. Okay, sweet. So what you do next week, guess who you're inviting to your challenge group? You go through that list of the people who liked that photo and you invite them because they're following you, they're watching you. And just because you don't get a lot of likes on a photo does not mean that you don't have followers, because you'll notice throughout your coaching career, someone's going to come up to you and type a message to you and say, hey, I've been following you for a while and I'm so inspired. And you're like, girl, why aren't you liking my shit then? Like, what the heck? Like, I have no idea that you like my stuff. Like, sweet. And I'll say, like, I had no idea. That's awesome. And then so you have people silently watching you. That's a reality. And if you think that posting 3 times a day is going all, to waste, it's not, because people are following you. And I have people who say, hey, I've been following you for a year and a half, like as if they needed like a year and a half of convincing that I wasn't just like some robot, that I'm actually like a real Facebook account or Instagram account. Like, you are real. So now I'm willing to hop on in. So it takes time. But this is how you grow your business. And, a lot of people will say like, oh, well, once you hit diamond or whatever, you can just like relax. But the best part about this business is that there's so much incentive to keep going, to keep growing, and to keep striving for greatness, because you don't reach those big, scary goals by sitting idly by and watching it happen. And that was my mistake when I first started. I was like, well, I'm going to go slow and steady and just see where it takes me. And I know that I would be a lot further ahead if I would have just swallowed my pride, stopped caring what people thought about me. Because let's face it, there's two types of people that will care about what you do. It'll be the people closest to you, and it'll be the people that you could give two cares about, right? Because you know that they are going to judge you no matter what you do. It doesn't matter. If you said, like, I'm running a marathon and I'm training, they'd be like, oh, loser. Like, okay, sweet. Like, you're like, great. So people like that, get them off your Facebook. If you're worried about them seeing things that you do, get them off, right? Like, it doesn't matter. And that's what I did. And it was so refreshing. Like, these guys from high school that still like live in this bully mentality that like they'll bully anyone and everything, and they just have nothing kind to say. And I think, why on earth, if I wouldn't personally like call them up, or I wouldn't feel comfortable saying hi to them in the grocery store, why on God's green earth are you on my Facebook? Like, nah, delete, block, see ya. Because like, you don't need that in your life. So it's refreshing. Do that. And then the ones closest to you, they need convincing. Because if you tell someone that you love and they truly love you back, that what I'm doing today makes me happy, makes me healthier, and makes me a better person, if they say, I still don't care, ugh, like frightening, right? Because what on earth can you do in life that would appease them, that would make them like, okay, I accept what you're doing with your life. Like, if this is what makes you happy and makes you confident and healthy, I feel like you can do no wrong. But you just need to share that with them. Because some people will say, yeah, like my sister-in-law, she's kind of a bag. Like, she always makes fun of me. But you know what would feel like really good? The next time you're at a family event, and I've done this myself personally, someone calls you out and says, you sure do post a lot of selfies on Facebook. It's getting really annoying. And I said, this was a male cousin of mine. And I said, okay, I brought up my phone. I said, I'll just delete you right now. Okay, is that better? And he's just like, oh, yeah, sure. Like, families all around. And I'm just like, no, you don't get away with like making fun of me. Like, this is how I make my living. Like, I don't make fun of you for driving truck. Like, that's an admirable job. You do it because it brings home the bacon, right? So anyways, just stop worrying about what people think so much, because you will hold yourself back to no end by doing that. And that's kind of all the content I had to share with you, because inviting to the coaching opportunity truly is simple. It's basic principles. The tough part is gaining that confidence and the tenacity and the willingness to do it, right? Because it's so easy to be like, I'm not going to invite today. Don't feel like it, not going to do it. That's okay some days. I've been there, trust me. But then I'm like, why is my team not growing? Why isn't this happening? I look back like, oh, I haven't invited anyone in the last 2 weeks. Uh-oh, like, whoops. So don't do that, because you're just setting yourself back. And, you know, yes, Emerald and Diamond both have very strong perks when it comes to income potential. And the nice part about this business, it's not like you sign up a coach and you get money. We all know that doesn't happen. You don't earn money from a signed up coach, which is good. That keeps people from being slimy, right? Because in order to be successful as a team, as leaders, we need to lead from the front and say, this is what I'm doing for you guys. I'm setting up training. I'm doing this. I'm helping you. Because as a team, that's why they call it team bonuses. Because without that sense of team and that work together, that does not happen. You do not earn an income. So let's say all of a sudden I decided to slack off entirely and do nothing in my business. So I'm up here, let's say, and I signed up whoever, Joe Blow, and they're underneath a coach of mine. They have every ounce of potential to surpass me. So that's the difference in this business. They can surpass me because of their own individual efforts and their hard work. That's the best part about this. So don't think that because your coach, maybe you have, you know, a dud of a coach. And I know none of you do, because I know all of your coaches. But let's say you did and they didn't do anything. That doesn't hold you back. So it can't be an excuse. You need to rise above it and push for greatness. Because if you look at Lindsay Matway, her coach had so much potential, but they were like inactive. They like signed up to be a discount coach. Like, can you think how much that person is like, no, like, why didn't I try? Because that could have been life-changing for that person, but they didn't know. So Lindsay Matway did not have a personally sponsored coach help her through this. She foraged through herself. So just know that if she can do it, so can we. Absolutely, 100%. I'm going to open it up to questions now because I know you guys, it's Mother's Day. People have lives. I have a cat. We got things we got to do. But I'd love to answer some questions while we're all here together. Just unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Anyone? Oh my gosh, I'll pick on you. Oh, Kirsty, I see your microphone went off. Go, girl.
Okay, so in our challenge groups, I know you did this to me, but how do you go about knowing who is not a coach and upfronting them if you didn't sign them? You know what I mean?
Then don't do that because someone did. Yeah, only do that to your own challengers. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the people in there were brought in by a coach of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, then that way you can kind of keep track of yours. And I like how in the daily assignments, sometimes we'll like tag a coach and be like, hey girl, haven't done it yet. Where are you at? And it's all out of love, obviously, because when you have a new challenger, they'll often say, I'm so excited. I need the accountability. That's what they signed up for. That's my job. I'm that coach. I'm that like Denzel Washington. Like, you can do this, but like, you're going to hate me, but you're going to love me. So do it. I can't be there to like breathe down your neck when you're squatting. So I have to like internet stalk you and make you do it. So. AMQ, what's your top tip for these leaders to be strong at recruiting and growing their team?
Okay, so I'm in a Starbucks. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so I think it was exactly what you said. Like, don't be afraid to just reach out and recognize a really good quality in someone. Like one of my new coaches is on this call right now. Her name's Kat, and I know she jumped on board to be a challenger. And like right away, she was saying all the right things. Like, I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but she was saying like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be part of this community of amazing women and help inspire other people. And I hope to bring my family on board. And I was like, you know what? Hold on. Like, and I just mentioned the coaching opportunity, and it was crazy. She like jumped on board to do the coaching thing before she jumped on board to be a challenger. And so now she's, completely dove in, and I'm really excited to see where that goes. So it's actually really interesting how you really just have to open up that communication, because it's like Kirsten said, if you're a robot, if you're like, hey girl, send the exact same message to every single person, the reality is it's not going to be well received. And I actually went through a lot of my first few messages a couple months back when I started coaching, and I was like, oh, I understand why I didn't get any bites, because these are actually like, they sound like robot messages. So you have to really customize to the person, whether it's your warm or cold market. Honestly, you just need to really like do some research and customize what you're saying to who you're saying it to, because people will really feel like you care. So recognizing little traits that you love in other people is, I think, a really big part of inviting people into either coaching and challenging, to be completely honest.
Absolutely. Being genuine, it sounds like an easy thing to do, but for a lot of people on the internet, they feel like they're boring, or they don't have anything to offer, or like they have to pretend to be someone they're not. But that's so not true, because there's so many versions of health and fitness and wellness, and people think that comes in one size, like size 0, right? Or like the confidence factor, you have to be a total like bombshell to do that. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not reality. We are uniquely ourselves, and that's such an advantage, right? You have your own brand. Like right when you started, you're like, yeah, like I like to do this, 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 and this. This is my personality. These are the dirty jokes I like to tell. This is me. Take it or leave it. And it's so refreshing for people, because being genuine on social media is not a common thing. Like if you go on Instagram and you follow all these people, like how many BuzzFeed stories have you come across where these bloggers or these women who just basically advertise clothing say like they have to take thousands of photos to get that one post on Instagram, and how they created their own like turmoil because they were trying to be someone they weren't. So it's so freeing and so wonderful in the coaching world when you can just embrace who you are. And because I remember when I started, a lot of the top coaches are, and I love them to pieces, but they're very devout Christians. And I love that about them. They're so inspiring. But I have a dirty mouth. Like, I swear a lot. So I was saying like, oh, darn, or gosh, like, I'm not sure if I've ever said that in my life, to be honest. Like, so I started like actually implementing like the way I speak. And I'm not being like vulgar, but I'm being myself, right? So I would speak how I would speak. Don't like type out a sentence or like a post and people are like, who the heck is that girl? Like, if people you know are like, that's not how she talks, right? So I'm sarcastic. I am a little crude. I'm hilarious as all can be, but I'm not going to be like, oh gosh, darn, girlfriends. Like, that's not how I talk. Like, sometimes I talk in a Southern accent. And so I'm like, sometimes you'll see me typing y'all and everyone's like, you're from Canada. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I say that all the time. So sorry. So just be yourself. It's so refreshing and your business will grow because of it. So embrace who you are. It's very freeing. And I, for the longest time, tried to fit a bill of like a coach that wasn't me. But once I started being like, yeah, I'm going to just be myself, it's way less stressful because it takes like creative effort to put on a show. You're like, okay, well, I need to like pretend I'm super into this hobby. Like, not at all. I don't like kombucha all that much. Like, I can't pretend that that's me. Like, so anyways, that's my tips for today. Anyone have questions? Anyone else? While we're all together? No? Okay. Well, enjoy your Mother's Days or your cat mom or fur baby mom days, whatever it is you're doing. You guys are all rock stars. Thank you so much for showing up today. I will post the recording in both team page groups, and we will see you again next Sunday. And I know if you have a minute, Virginia just graduated from her doctoral pharmacy. So it's a big deal. So maybe head over to her page and share some love with her because that's a pretty big accomplishment to do while growing an online business. So otherwise, have an amazing weekend, guys, and we will see you all next week.